donations. Photographs will be taken off stage here. While the photographs are being taken, I ask National Vice Commander James H. Howes, Jr. of Pennsylvania to assume duties at the lectern.
Thank you, Commander. Past national commanders, distinguished guests, National Adjutant Dan, it's a pleasure to appear before you here once again. I was very much looking forward to this ride this year because it was unique. It's number 7, and it was going to not start in Indianapolis. It was going to start in the commander home state of New York and bring him into the convention. I had a challenge, though, a choice, if you will. I could either get my wife over here for the birth of our 7th grandchild during that same week, or I could, as a biker, a rider since 1967 BM, which is before marriage, and the head of my household. I didn't make the ride this year. Trust me when I say, when you tell a grandmother you're not going to be able to get her over here in time for the birth of a grandchild, it brings a whole new definition to the word battle. And you cannot win it. Now, I'll give my wife credit. She did say, well, you can go ahead and make the ride. You like to do that. And I'll just go over a couple days later and see the new baby. Uh-huh. That's like when your wife tells you before your anniversary, it's okay, dear, I don't need a gift, just get me a card. When you do that, you've written an IOU to your wife you'll never pay back for the rest of your life. This was the 7th run. And before I get too far into this, I'd like to thank the Judge Advocate General, Major General Umbarger from the state of Indiana, for all of his hospitalities out at Stout Field, allowing 300-plus bikes to invade his headquarters area, go through safety courses, as well as take challenges of riding with cones, something totally different from any other run we've had this year. The highlight of which, though, was getting to meet 2 young people that are benefits of what we do. And that was a young man and a young lady who have been recipients of the scholarships that we've been able to provide so far, which is 99 scholarships for just under $300,000 thus far. Our goal is $20 million. We're at a neighborhood right now of about $6 million in the trust fund, right at $300 million of which, or $3 million of which, has been raised by these legacy runs and by riders around the country. 290,000 basically this year so far by the riders, and right now we're looking in the neighborhood of $300,000 this run that will be presented here, and I'm quite sure by the time the presentations you're about to hear are finished, that will exceed another very large number. This time I'd like to share a video, and I'll enjoy this video with you. I've been able to enjoy the other ones because I've been part of them. This particular video, however, was one I wasn't at, so I get to watch it too.
We have in our midst riders from all over the United States. All 50 states are represented.
Well, I just want to take the opportunity to say really thank you, thank you. If it wasn't for the Legion Rider, the legacy funds will probably still at very, very low end of it. Just think about it, it's been 10 years, and we only at about 4 or 5 million, but most of them are due because of your effort. And this is great, this is great. And it's the Legion Rider taking care of the legacy fund. So I appreciate it.
I got teary-eyed coming into here. It was kind of hard to take the turn when my eyes were so watery. It was awesome with all the people greeting in us. Yeah, great.
I believe that this ride means to me that it will make sure that that doesn't happen to other soldiers, fallen soldiers' children, that they will actually go on and be able to do something and go to college.
I think it's about camaraderie. It's about what a bunch of bikers will do for kids and for their fellow comrades.
I want to thank all the riders for this amazing thing you do. It's really appreciated. And if it wasn't for you, I don't know what these kids would do without their parents.
Commander, how do you feel? You ready for this?
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
All right.
I heard a lot about Earl.
Why we're here, to be here for the children of our fallen veterans since September 11th. Try to do as much as we can for them as possible and let them know that we're here available for them anytime they need us. And make sure they have enough funds to go to the scholarship, go to school, and have a university or college degree.
Thank you, American Legion Riders.
I truly admire that the energy and all the effort that they put in for such a ride, and you walk around, see how excited they are, you know, even under the hot suns and all that, and that's just great. That's what Legion is all about. That's what the veterans is all about.
Mr. Commander, it's my pleasure to lead this off with a check from my home post in Stonington, Illinois, a membership of 125 members with a check of $500.
Part of that video, you got to see the riders this time when they came in, they got to take a lap around the track. I wasn't able to do that with them this year, but I have done that before, and I assure you it's an absolutely awesome feeling to take that 2.5 mile oval on two wheels as you go around banking those turns. Riders love to raise money, and that's what we're here to do now. The National Commander had gotten some contributions. He asked me to run through those before we start that off. American Legion Post 18, Lockport, Illinois, $750. These are from checks for individuals that had to leave early. James and Charlene Wade, $65. ALR out of Smithfield, Virginia, $4,500. And ALR Hawaii Post 17, $4,300 that were handed in early. Those folks had to leave. At this time, I'd like to call on our immediate past department commander from the state of Illinois, Dave Hicks, for the purpose of a presentation.
Thank you, Terry. Earlier this year, the Department of Illinois had given $7,456.32. Here in my hand is an additional $8,435, a grand total so far from the Department of Illinois for $15,891.32. And while sitting up here on the stage, as you've seen, We're still taking donations in, so we don't have a complete total at this time. Thank you.
Hello, my name is John Davis. We're a little bit different. I'm president of the National Assistant Sergeant at Arms Club. A lot of you probably didn't know that was such a thing. There is. If you look around the wall, you'll see men and women with the blue armbands. 4 of us have the red armbands. We have George behind stage, we have Sherry on stage, we have Leroy on the floor, and of course I'm on the front doors. We are the ones that assist the commander and the National Sergeant at Arms with whatever they need done. As president of the club, this will be our first time. We would like to present not a check, it's a money order for $300 to the Legacy Fund. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jim Hamilton. I'm a past Indiana State Director, and we have donated thousands of dollars to this legacy run. And the Legion Riders, 3,400 of them strong in the great state of Indiana, would like to welcome all the delegates and alternates and their guests to this convention. And we hope you have a good time while you're here. Most all of our checks have been turned in, and I'm here with the stragglers that come in. So I have 3 checks for $700 that I'd like to turn in today. Thank you.
I'm Bob Fueling from Paris Post 1. I have 2 checks here. One from China Post number 1 for $250. The second check is from FODPAW. FODPAW is the Foreign Outlying Departments of the American Legion. I have a check for $300 from the FODPAW department, not department, FODPAW. And at our breakfast meeting Monday morning, we collected another $200. So this check is for $500 for the Legacy Fund.
Good afternoon. I bring you greetings from the great state of South Carolina. I'm Mickey Taylor, immediate past department commander, and on behalf of the Legion Riders of South Carolina and on behalf of the Department of South Carolina, I would like to present this check for $37,967.85.
Additional to the monies already sent in, the great Department of Pennsylvania would like to present a check for $3,200. Thank you.
I am Kenny Goth from the great state of Missouri, and our department and all of our American Legion Rider chapters would like to present a check for $21,282.
With Department of Alabama Director Harold Ciancio, I'm Lee Held, the ALR Liaison. Alabama, Roll Tide. We want to present $6,923. Roll Tide.
Department of Idaho, Department Commander William Steffen, World War II veteran, going to donate $1,618. Very first one from Idaho.
Gary Miller, Commander, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Post 15, $1,000.
Mr. Commander, Bob Klostermeyer, Department Delegation Chairman for Ohio. I want to present our first check from Post 646 for $1,200.
Mr. Commander, the Director of Allen, Chapter 700, a check for $3,200. One from Post 540 at Cortland for $540 for $3,740 total, and for the Dynamic 9th District, $91.77.
From Department of Ohio Charities Inc., a check for $10,000.
Mr. Commander, from the great Department of Wisconsin, not only American Legion Riders, but the entire American Legion family, Wisconsin has a check for $11,880.
Mr. Commander, from the great state of Alaska, where the summers are long, the riding days are short, and the rides are cold and wet, we'd like to present this check for $3,500.
Liam Kane, NEC man from the Department of France. I would like to present this check on behalf of the department for $500.
And I'm Ron Moore, Commander from the Department of France, and I'm following along right behind. I was told not to have a sermon up here, but I do have a couple other checks. ALR GR07, $600, GR14, $190, GR05, $150, R Moore, $100. 1982, $460, an unknown, $20, another unknown, $1, and I got 25 cents from somebody too. Robert Fielding gave me $300, so we got another additional checks for the Department of France, $1840.25.
I'm Jim Gillis from the state of Colorado, past department commander. I have checks here for a total of $890.
Mr. Commander, George Cushing from the grand state of Arizona. I have a check from the department for $6,000.
I also have checks from the following Legion Rider chapters in Arizona: ALR 52 in Sierra Vista, $1,000; ALR 4 in Globe, $1,500; ALR 79 in Yarnell, $500; ALR 138 in Tempe, $1,250; ALR chapters in District 12, which is the greater Phoenix area, $1,328.22; ALR 29 in Glendale, $2,500; ALR 58 in Fountain Hills, $4,000; and ALR 86 in Overguard presented the commander with a $3,200 check during the legacy run, bringing Arizona up to $21,278.22. We also have 47 chapters in Arizona with over 2,200 riders, and more checks from Arizona Commander will be coming in the next few days.
Dennis Furco, representing Chapter 741, Camarillo, California, for $1,500. Thank you.
I'm Dale Allen, the outgoing commander of Kansas. In addition to the $20,000 we've already sent in, I have checks and cash for $7,212.
Steve Weber, representing Oxnard, California, Chapter 48. We had our 4th annual Legacy Scholarship run, and we have a check for $850.
Mr. Commander, Boone Post 4 in the great state of Kentucky has a check here for $500. Thank you.
Scott Dalton, Area A Vice Commander from the great state of Kentucky. We have 2 checks to present. One, $500 from Post 31, Paducah, Kentucky. Another for $750 for our LRA group for $750 for a total of $1,250.
Mr. Commander, Terry Rice, past department commanders, great seeing you again. Last time I seen you, we escorted you around, and you wanted to know why the riders had to show up. You was kind of afraid we're taking you to different places, and we kind of scared you a little bit. So, but we have 4 checks from the Department of Kentucky for a total of $4,752.09. Thank you.
Mr. Commander, Keith Arlen from the Green Mountain State Department of Vermont, representing riders from Brandon Post 55, Colchester Post 91, and donations from the Rutland City Middle School teachers and cash from a supporter.
Mr. Commander, from Chapter 28, Department of Virginia, proud to present this check for $2,000.
Mr. Commander, the Department of Delaware has already donated $11,061. We are adding to that from Oak Orchard, Riverdale Post number 28, a check for $7,000, and a check from Walter L. Fox, Post number 2 of Dover, Delaware, a check for $2,000 for. So from the small Department of Delaware, that's a total of $20,061.
Mr. Commander, my name's Ken Maynard from the great state of New Hampshire. On behalf of the whole American Legion family from New Hampshire, I have multiple checks totaling $10,420.
Mr. Commander, Lyle Schaefer, Department Commander for the state of Iowa. I have a check here for $945 from the 9th District in Northwest Iowa.
Mr. Commander, representing American Legion Riders, Washington, Iowa, Post 29, I have a check for $500 and a second check for $500, my own personal check. Thank you.
Mr. Commander, the Detachment of Iowa, SAL, presents you with a check for $1,000.
Mr. Commander, from the great Department of New York, home of the National Commander Feng A. Wong, we are proud to present a check for $12,000 for the Legacy Scholarship Fund.
Mr. Commander, on behalf of the great state of Michigan, Department of Michigan, we have a donation of $2,000.
Mr. Commander, also we have an additional check from the 8th District of Michigan for $219.52.
Commander, Michael Provost, Finance Officer for the Department of Oregon, State Treasurer for American Legion Riders. From the Oregon American Legion Riders and American Legion Family of Oregon, we have $3,400.
Mr. Commander, Adjutant Post 79, Tony Riley. On behalf of the American Legion Riders, Post 79 in Zionsville, Indiana, $500.
Mr. Commander, from the great state of Connecticut, I'm Jackie Avancian, American Legion Rider Director. We have several checks. We're going to just grand total them to $7,249. Thank you.
Commander, North Dakota, Past Commander Bob, Commander Dave, my name's Gerald Pitts, Director of the chapter of the Legion Riders. Present you a check for $8,625.
Mr. Commander, Mike Rowley, Department of Nebraska, Sergeant at Arms. We have checks from Morse Bluff, Post 340 of $100. Dana and Donna Anderson from St. Edwards, $100. Legion Riders Chapter 84 out of Columbus, $300. Legion Riders Chapter 355 out of Denton, $1,020. South Central Chapter 52 out of Kearney, $1,000. Chapter 32 out of Papillion, $2,500. Legion Chapter 1, Omaha, $3,262. And American Legion Riders Chapter 3 out of Lincoln, $11,200. Bringing a total of new contributions, $19,482, and with previous contributions, $25,232 from the Department of Nebraska.
Commander, from the Department of New Mexico, we have two checks here from the American Legion Post 7 in Carlsbad, $2,000. From Post 69, Alameda, New Mexico, a check for $1,000.
Commander, from the great state of Georgia, I have three checks totaling the amount of $27,802.28 from the Legion family.
Mr. Commander, from the great state of Florida, I have checks totaling $33,046.
Mr. Commander, Tartan, Minnesota, American Legion family, we have cash of $100 and a check for $40,550.
Yo!
Commander Steve Silvestri, Commander Department of Massachusetts, where it all began. Post 224, a check for $2,000. Post 338, a check for $6,224, for a Massachusetts total of $8,224.
Mr. Commander, from the great state of New Jersey and your home state, I want to present you a check for $500.
Mr. Commander, from the great state of Texas, Post 491 family presents $2,200.
Mr. Commander, my name is Tom T.J. Haynes with the 593 Riders in Converse, Texas. Since we have donated over $150,000 the last few years, nobody asks us where Converse is anymore. The Riders have honored me with bringing this check to headquarters. They're back in Converse doing some of the many hundreds of events that they do every year representing the American Legion family. They seldom get together, but when they do, things like this happen. Commander, I have a check here for you for $25,051.85.
Well, I don't have that much, but our post is one of the larger posts in the Monroe County, New York. It's Cottrell Warner, Post 942, and our Legion Rider unit is about, I guess, about 19 members right now. What we'd like to do is we have a couple of runs we did. We're in the process of doing some more. Future monies will be a lot larger. I have two checks here, one for the Emergency Relief Fund for $250, and I have one for the Legacy Fund for $600. Thank you very much.
Fellow comrade, National Commander Wong, Jimmy Foster, representing the great state of Alaska. But I am going to present a check from the state where I was born and raised, in Oklahoma. American Legion Rider is Post 1. Due to circumstances beyond their control, I had to leave, and they asked me if I would, in their honor, being a fellow Okie, present this check to the American Legion Legacy Scholarship Fund in the amount of $500, and I do so with pride. Thank you.
Where's the Meister? Peter? Oh. Mr. Meister, are you still here with us? Great. Thank you. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our next honored guest, a 1965 graduate of West Point. Secretary Shinseki completed 38 years of uniformed service in the U.S. Army, including 2 combat tours in the Republic of Vietnam and service as the Army's Chief of Staff.